Guess what, guys? Twitch chat is down, but that is okay. Do not have a frown, for Day 9 is here. He'll keep casting so you can think to yourself all the stuff you type. Yo. I really have to work on those final stanzas. I feel like they cripple my ability to look cool. But don't worry, with hair this rambunctious, how can you not? Jesus. Part 1, we got the chance to establish what the build was, some of the key little subtle pieces to it, such as the Queen movement, that extra creep tumor, the scouting Zerglings, the super fast layer with super fast Zergling speed, right? And now we're getting the chance to see that it can hold off an immortal sentry all in with a nice mix of units. What about versus what so is actually seeing? Let's take a look at the first follow-up. With the super fast Zergling speed, it's rather easy to cycle the lings so that you can get an excellent sense of what's going on. Again, grooved spines go down first. These are response spine crawlers. I was following these Zerglings for quite a while, and the spines got planted down as an answer to that. Looks like Trumpet M. Cool's the only person who can type in chat right now. What up, Austin? Austin helping tremendously on Project Atlas. So he's been giving amazing feedback during the playtests. Big shout out to you, Austin. We're basically going to go ahead and have ourselves a one-on-one conversation. Overseer, I think, is a super critical piece here. It's not your usual scout timing. Most of the time, what Zergs do is send in suicide overlords at 7 minutes. No suicides for so. Look at the units lost. 11 units lost. Plenty of Zerglings have been killed, have lost their lives, are frowning dead somewhere. Overlord count, not so much. We haven't suicided those in. We've actually waited a good bit of time before sending one in. And it's an Overseer. It's a rather protected one. Why can we get away not sending in that Overlord? Because of those early speed Zerglings that were able to identify WTF was up. Look at the fantastic control by so. Waiting till the last second. Do not be scared to have your units lying back here somewhere while you're getting shot at from the hatch, and then slip out the sides or out this backside to overwhelm. Actually, I think that comment is not conveying what I want to. It's be willing to absorb shots on the hatch before engaging. That's a good signal to let you know that you've waited long enough. I think it's very easy to see an army here and to think, oh my god, I want to engage it right now. You don't. If you can kill it, and you are 100% positive, well, alright, you know, that's a little exception, but still, even if you can certainly kill it, I'd probably even prefer to hold back, to force him to build more units, to make him commit harder when I'm sure that I can take him out. Now, SOS is no slouch. We see these lings trying to find an angle to remove the pylon threat. Hydralisks constantly being produced, no droning going down in any which way. No movement forward from our Hydra friends. The lings are doing their best to take stuff down, and so's basically getting to know what he wants to. It's important that you know your animations. This means a researching Twilight Council. And thanks to that creep spread, so can rearrange where he needs. Yay! Wow, look at that still ling Hydra production. Super duper super still. Muscular augments go down. Nice. Well, what next? Our Overseer has identified continued gateway focus. It has also identified 3 gates here, 1 gate here, and almost certainly more gates, given the fact that we're seeing these heavy upgrades. We're seeing Blink coming up. Or, I mean, honestly, if you're feeling a little doubtful of making a sort of bold read based on that, just keep scouting with the Overseer. Zerglings from so providing that great scouting benefit. Nice. Well, given that we're alive, and we're pretty sure he's doing ground things, what's next? Well, great. Roach Warren. Remember that Roach Warren we cleverly skipped? We'll get that now. The Evolution Chamber. We want to have our upgrades. And damn, we got a lot of hydralisks. May as well make them the most boss-ass hydralisks of all time. Sue waited so long to engage. Another thing that's popping down rather swiftly that I think is very easy to misunderstand is the Infestation Pit. The other last piece is going to be a 4th base and these gas geysers. Here's the way I would qualitatively describe what's going on. Sue is saying, aha! You're going for something gateway-centric or basically ground-focused. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go straight for Vipers. And in this period where where you can't really attack me, I'm going to get everything else that I was missing. The extra gas geysers, the Roach Warren, obviously the Hive and the Infestation Pit, and even a 4th base to boot. Quantitatively, we'll talk about the exact numberage of it, but I mean, look at how all these pieces are happening at the same time. Roach, Infestor, Evo Chamber, double gas. Oh, muscular augments.
Under attack.
These Hydras moving out are just not committal Hydralisks. Those retreated so early! Don't ever let those Hydras die. Love them. A macro hatch is another piece that we are missing. And soon enough, we're going to see this extra base go down. But notice that Sue has not gone insane with drone production. He was already over 60. He made a couple more to put in the gas geyser, but straight on back to Hydras and Lings. Immediately back to Hydras and Lings. Hey, Infestation Pit done, no problem. We're going to be getting that Hive soon. Getting ourselves missile attacks. Getting ourselves Roach speed. Our money is starting to build up. We'll be getting ourselves a 4th base. I actually think I can just chill here and it will happen soon. What do you know? Hive coming up. Beforehand, what we were doing was spending all of our gas on Hydras and all our remaining resources on Lings. Sue is now going to switch over to mostly Roach. Oh, pneumatized carapace, one of the most important upgrades for a Hive Tech Zerg. Absolutely critical upgrade. Can't emphasize it enough. Suppose for a moment that our enemy is going for big Colossus transitions. He definitely can't attack us, and nice, we'll get Viper abduct and we'll be in grand shape. Suppose our opponent is delaying Colossus tech and instead favoring a Psycho Gateway heavy mix that only SOS would do. No problem, we're flooding with Roach Hydra and we can even use that Hive tech to get Blinding Cloud. So simple move outs from Sue reveals, aha, you're a dude going for some big old gateway stuff. Roaches continue to be made. Drone count has not really gone above 66. It's been a very low count. SOS trying to move in. But damn, I love Hydralisks. Oh, look at that macro. See you later, mama shit core. We're starting to get the Roach Flood action going on. Who doesn't love a macro hatch? These upgrades are one of the most interesting pieces to me because they're so late. Look at that. +3 en route, chrono boost. We'll meet our +3 when Zerg has +1. What? Well, guess what? Hydralisks are kick-ass. They don't even really... Oops. Roach selected. They have a pretty fast fire rate as is, and it might even get buffed to shoot even faster. So great. Sue just kind of maxes out. He's got a Hive up. He can construct himself Das Viper. So he's just going to move out with his force, his existing force, trying to find a good angle. General upgrades, general focus on the gas, the expansion. And Sue actually just wins with a big attack. We're at the 16-minute mark, and Sue has only +1 attack. He's getting the Vipers in the backside. He's getting a spine crawler at this base. He's not going super drone crazy, but larva-wise, he has more than enough to flood reinforcing roaches. Unit-wise, he still has mostly hydras. This is a very recent addition, up to 30. Wingstalkers are great. soO's units are a lot greater. If soO encountered some Colossus, he would just wait till the 2 Vipers were done, take a little bit of juice from the hatch and abduct him on up. Kill, 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 kill. Cool. And soO secures himself a very clean, easy-looking win. If I had to describe what we just got the chance to see... let me see here... If I had to describe what we just got the chance to see, more or less it would be getting this sort of double-pronged gas tech, Zergling speed, and the fast layer. Insta-hydras, building hydras to stay alive. Okay, you're going gateway, adding in roaches, win. Nice. Cool. There was not really complex management of a lot of different fronts. We didn't get ultra-fast upgrades. We didn't really do any ultra-thin defenses. We just kind of began pumping out units reasonably early that normally would be used for defense, but when we don't need to use them for defense, we can use them for offense. Cool. So, of course, we've seen 2 important things. The obvious one is that this attack held off a gateway push, or excuse me, that this opening held off a gateway push, and we saw how to transition into Roach Viper with those initial Hydras still in the mix. But the other thing that we sort of talked about was that that opening can clearly defend an Immortal Sentry all-in with that Hydra Ling and some good positioning. What I want to look at now is another game between soO's and soO, where we will see soO's do a super kick-ass air opening. And to close out segment 2 of this show, we're going to look at soO's opening on a much different map. What would seem like the polar opposite of Daedalus Point in many ways. And we'll realize that this is actually just a very, very solid way to play. First and foremost, looking at the map, much bigger, 20 bases on the map. 5 in each position. Wait, is there 24? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Yeah, it's 20 bases. So if we look at the map, we see that the third has the same shape, this big open space all around the third. I mean, hell, the entire center is nothing but huge open spaces. And there are some little cracks along these back sides that we can see on the main screen now that can provide for some interesting constricting areas, but by and large, it's a very open map. Openness is what we're looking for to be able to pull off this Hydra play, because the Lings are just as integral a part of this as the Hydras are. I just say Hydra because no one builds those. Day 9 knows how to be catchy. So, okay, Alter Zim has the fine benefit of a very defendable backdoor base. Going to the soO cam, soO can almost always predict an enemy going for a Nexus first. Oh my god, I'm gonna yawn. Oh god, nice. 15 hatch. When does the gas go down? Generally around 17 or 18. 17 is the choice for soO. When does the pool go down? Generally right afterwards. soO has seen nothing. As far as he's concerned, he hasn't even seen another human being on the map in any way, shape, or form. Let's see that follow-up. We're still worried about air. We're worried about those early gateway attacks. We got 2 queens coming. How many lings are we getting? 2 lingos. We're getting ling speed, and just as before, a single drone stays in the gas. So the lings are going to be very diligent about scouting around every which way. If you see on the production tab, you'll see just an obscenely early Stargate. Oh my god, why am I yawning? Oh, jeez. I don't want to yawn anymore. Okay. Now, so is still doing the same thing. Remember, after the first inject, just one inject. Come on, replay. Come on, let me select it. Immediately after the first inject, one of the queens goes to throw down a creep tumor to join the third with the main. Woo! And when did that third go down? Not horrifically early. Not some kind of super rush to try to get up the third. Just when we could afford it. Making sure we can build our drones first. Cool. And the Zerglings we see parking themselves up here to try to get data. What you doing? What you up to? Hey friend. Okay, mothership core's there. Time to retreat. Once the Zergling speed's done, boom! Time to check everything. We'll come visit those little friendly guys in a bit. Third queen comes up where? In a spot closest to the third base. 16 drones here. Once upon a time there was 16 drones here, but we transferred. Look at the lings, checking every which way. We even see a mini-map's probably the clearest way to look at it. We see like a dig into the fog here. We have one ling at the front, scouting around, checking out what's up. Lings continuing to be active. And let's remember some of these timings that we saw last time. The layer goes down super early. I'm still going to show that it's around 640 that tends to go down. Just whenever we have the 100 gas. And boink. 635. And you know what comes up right when the layer goes down? 1 gas. Right around 7 minutes. You know what else goes down? 2 more gas. So we're at 650. More queens coming up. Another queen popping out. And, oh, 7 minutes. Oh, 7 minutes. What do you know? So frickin' much frickin' gas frickin' early. Frickin', 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 etc., etc., etc. Queens injecting. Oh! An evolution chamber. This is a slight detour from what we were seeing before. And let me back up just a bit. You do have quite a lot of flexibility with this kind of build. It's not all hinged on those hydralisks that pop up, but this Overlord is getting some useful information. An assimilator down at the second base. This is likely a side effect of the size of the map, but often if you can identify pieces like, goodness, that's a super fast nexus, you can easily justify sneaking out little improvements to your build order like this. We still see these sprint up to 60 to 65 drones. Remember those Zerglings that we saw before 8 minutes? Still coming out before 8 minutes. Not going to cut every corner in the book. But finally, queens show themselves, or excuse me, phoenixes show themselves. And we see so adding on spore crawlers in the middle of these bases. Now, sometimes I would say it's reasonable to go for 2 spore crawlers at each base. You don't really have that many tools to deflect the air stuff. You're going to have to continue to deflect it for a while. And it's that continued concern why people get 2 spores. Probably around the 9-minute mark, most players that initially had 2 to 3 phoenixes now almost certainly have 5 and can just one-shot lift a queen, kill it, lift a queen, kill it. And that's why people are getting 2 spores. With just 1 spore, you can stay alive against 3 phoenixes reasonably so. But because we're getting those hydralisks rather soon, I think it's totally okay for Sue to be a little bit more lax on the spore crawler. I mean, we cut a lot of corners to be able to get, or not cut corners, we cut a lot of important things like drones, like an earlier third with larva, so it's actually an important concern for ours. How can we be more efficient early on? And getting just a single spore at each place is an example of such.
Our forces are under attack.
But now so has identified to himself. You are not just going for third base. You are going also for these phoenixes. You are going air. We delightfully see the same thing as in last game. We see some hydras. We see range going down. Although the range is going down for a different reason. We're not getting it to be better against force fields. We're getting it to be better at shooting these air units. We don't need to move quickly. We need to be able to chill here safely by a spore crawler and shoot from its safe range. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step away, and I want you to think, how would you respond to having seen a player go for fast air and a fast third? Because coming up is the flex point in our build. Coming up is the 10-minute mark where we know we're guaranteed to know exactly what our opponent is going to be up to. And how would you respond? When we return, we're going to take a look at soO's response, and it's one that I think is initially extremely counterintuitive, especially to newer players to the game. But we'll see exactly why it works and why it's just fantastic. So stay tuned. Part 2 coming up on a break.